Hey, it's Robert Lee Moulton here, and today we're going to look at string winding secrets and tips and how it applies to getting great guitar tone. This is something that a lot of people aren't aware of, but it actually has a huge factor in how to get killer guitar tone. So let's take a look and see what we got here. The first thing you want to keep in mind on the tuning peg itself, you do not want to ever have more than 2 or 3 wraps. Anything beyond 3 wraps, you're getting yourself into an area where the string begins to take a different form. And what I mean by that is when you're winding the string down the peg, the string itself is actually twisting opposite ways on either end. And if you can picture that in your mind, what's happening is it's putting a stress on the middle of the string as it turns and twists. It actually distorts the shape of the string and becomes very unstable. So when you do this to all your strings, it's almost impossible to get proper intonation, but your tone is completely lost at this point because the string doesn't resonate or vibrate properly. So this is something that it's huge. I learned this from Glenn Tipton years ago, and it's just something that the first time I tried, I knew he was on to something and made that big of a difference. So when you try this, you'll know what's happening. And I'm sure that that's why some of these keys that are out there today, which we'll talk about here, that just lock immediately in, that might have something to do with why they developed them as well as the ease of it. But let's take a look at how we're going to wrap these around. As you can see right here, we have about 2 wraps, but the very first wrap that comes out of that eye is actually locking the string into place, and that's how we can use 2 wraps and still keep the string from having any slippage. So of course your strings are going to stretch, they're going to break in, but once the guitar is broke in, those strings are going to hold better than before, and your tuning is going to be much better. So let's take a look at some of these keys I was telling you about here, such as the Paul Reed Smith, where you can just put the string straight through, actually clamp it down into the key itself, and then within a half a turn you're up to pitch. And as you can see, that these do exactly that. String just goes straight on through and zips right around, and boom, you're in pitch. I believe this is the best form of key because it does get the string up to pitch the quickest, and the best tone and the best feel of the string is going to come from a key like this. So Spurzell makes this model. There's probably other companies that make a locking model like this, but it's the concept we're talking about, not any particular brand. As long as you're able to just get a quick tune, you're in business. So this is just one way to do it, but you certainly don't have to buy these keys to do what we're talking about. You just want to make sure you put the string on correctly. So we're going to go through this. You just go ahead and lace the low E all the way through the peg like that, and just turn it around to the inside of the headstock, okay? And then you're going to loop underneath the string, just as I've done here. So pull the string directly underneath like that, and what you're going to do then is take the string and curve it over the top. Just put a little bend in it, curve it right over the top, and pull it right back the opposite way, as you can see we've done here. And once that's pulled back like that, you can begin winding the string down, and you'll notice immediately you're going to put that first lock right around, and then the second wind around the string, and there you are. That string is actually going nowhere at that point. You want to break the string in the best you can, get it up to pitch, and you'll find it'll hold on real well. And you're going to want to do this to all 6 strings. Even when you get down to the high E, that's where you tend to put the 6, 7, 8 wraps around the peg, is when you get to the smaller strings, because you can get more slippage. Doing the lock method, you won't have that problem at all. But as you can see right here, this is what it should look like when it's done. From the low E, as we go all the way down, you can still see right there on the G, there's just 3 wraps, and that's all you need. Plus it keeps the strings higher on the peg, which makes for less resistance going through the string nut, and that does help on strings that are on necks that don't have locking nuts. So okay, there are definitely tons of different variables that create killer guitar tone, and it's just, I mean, all these things together create an overall tone, and there's just so many of them. But that's why I have compiled 20 years of inside information on getting the best guitar tone. it's taken that long just to know everything that I know, and there's still, a ton of things you can experiment with, but the real nuts and bolts of what create killer tone is a lot more than just the happening distortion pedal of the day. It's way more than that. So all I can say is that if you want to shave years off your learning curve and get all this information in your hands immediately, it's going to help you tremendously. I would I would suggest that you go to greatguitartone.com, and that's where I have the ebook, which is just how to get great guitar tone. And again, that's www.greatguitartone.com. Go there, check this information out, get 20 years of inside info in your hands immediately, and you are going to jump ahead of the rest. It's gonna help you tremendously, and go ahead, get that information, put it to use, and we will talk to you soon. And as always, keep rocking. We'll see ya.